Houston, Texas. I'm in Houston, Texas. In Houston, Texas.
Okay.
In US, Houston, Texas. Yes.
Okay. So how long you have been there, Guruji?
I'm here for the last 20 years. Yeah, I moved here in the beginning of 2001, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly 20 years over. Yes.
Okay. Please tell me about yourself, means about your life, your profession.
Yeah, like myself, I studied my master's in IIT Bombay, to Mumbai. So that's where I got the opportunity to study Bhagavad-Gita. In fact, along with my MTech, I also studied Bhagavad-Gita also. I got a degree, you can say. So that was a great opportunity to get, because my Guru Maharaj, my Guruji, who came to IIT hostel, in my hostel, he was teaching. In fact, I got the opportunity to organize this lecture in my room, my hostel room, actually. So it was a very good time, a very good time. I could study well, of course, and also understood Bhagavad Gita knowledge also. And then I moved to IIT Chennai, IIT Madras. So in the year 1993. So I studied my MTech in the year 1991 to 92, actually, in IIT Mumbai. Exactly, again, 30 years ago. So then when I moved to Chennai, IIT Madras, I continued my PhD there. So there actually I was, again, because I got already the experience to organize Bhagavad Gita lectures in IIT Mumbai, IIT Bombay. So that was very helpful for me. So as soon as I joined for my PhD in the year 1993, July, in IIT Madras, so within a couple of months, I started Bhagavad Gita lecture there. I went to ISKCON Chennai, and His Holiness Bhanu Swami Maharaj, I requested him, and he came, and every weekend, every Sunday we had, Saturday we had organized. So that was a very good start actually for me. In the very first semester, I was the only person organizing. I was thinking if I can get some helping hands, it will be great, something like that. But, Krishna is so merciful that by the next year, we were about 25, 30 people, students, actually. We got a big team there, actually.
Okay.
So, it was a wonderful experience, actually. We were actually, so I was doing my PhD there. Again, I would say that I was in parallel doing this Bhagavad Gita things a lot, actually. I was spending a lot of time in this, other than doing my research. Most of the time I spent on this, so that helped me to understand, because Bhagavad Gita is a science. So I could realize in my IIT Bombay when I did my MTech there itself. So then I continued, because of I myself was doing research, so I was able to analyze Bhagavad Gita as a science. So then in the year 1996, Prabhupada centennial celebrations, actually I was one of the key person in, like they organized national level debate competition. It's a very difficult task to organize a national level debate competition. To do it in first city level, then state level, then national level, right? So it was organized by my Guruji who taught me Bhagavad Gita, His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Swami. So he came to Chennai and he simply told me that, Bala, you take 2 cities, you organize like that. Those cities were not in Chennai. They were almost 300 kilometers away from Chennai, 250, 300 kilometers. 2 different zones, basically 2 zones. We call it as a zonal level, which comprises nearby cities. So since he told me, it was a great opportunity, and I used to travel a lot every week, at least 2 times, 3 times, going like by all modes, like train, bus, whatever way possible. So it was a wonderful thing, and in fact, we were the very first team to organize that in the entire India, the very first debate, actually. That's why it came as a news. They published Yuva Prachar Patrika. So in that, IITians set the pace. So that's what that was the title. So that was, it's all, why I'm sharing all these things, it's all wonderful experience, because I was more involved in this But that's what I always say, that Krishna was doing my PhD. So, so everything I finished my PhD on time, within 3.5 years, doing a PhD in engineering. And my specialization also was like a computational fluid dynamics. It's a very interesting field. And because I got excellent guides, there is, it's all again Krishna's arrangement. So otherwise it's very difficult. So I even now I have very close contact with my advisors, PhD advisors actually. So that was the thing. So overall, that student life gave me a lot of opportunities to study Bhagavad-Gita. And then I joined in the year 1997, middle of 97, I joined for job. So also in the beginning of 1997, I got married also. So then I joined job. So I joined in PCS Chennai. So then they were starting a joint venture between GE. So that's why I moved to US actually. In the year 1999, I came here. So then again came back to India for 1 year and then again moved in 2001. Actually, even now I'm working, but you know already like how our Bhagavad Gita classes are going, correct? So it all started at that time. But the important point I want to mention at this time is that even at the time when I moved to US, all the time my focus was in the IIT Bhagavad Gita class, which was started in the year 1993. So I was actually in contact with all the students who are coming for the class. That is still going on. Because of the pandemic, now they don't allow, but once this ends, once the institute starts, again it will start actually. So I would say it's almost 29 years actually.
That's a wonderful thing.
Wonderful thing. It's amazing. It's all miracle. Like it's still going on, and I'm from here. I was in contact with all the students. That means I have seen generations of students actually.
Yes.
So they come and graduate and go, and new students come. So I am all the time in contact with the students. Every time when I visit India, we go for a big tour actually. To temples and with Vanuswami Maharaj in Chennai. So we organize a big thing. So like that, I've seen generations of students that gave me the opportunity to teach them Bhagavad Gita. So it all started in the year 2009, 2008, 2009 actually. I started teaching Bhagavad Gita to some of the students in IIT from here. So otherwise they were coming for that regular program there. But still over phone I started teaching. So this all happened. So in the meantime, I myself started memorizing the Bhagavad Gita slokas. So it so happened, I felt very much interested in all these slokas. So I memorized almost, I would say, all the chapter slokas, everything by Krishna's mercy I got memorized, because Krishna only gives remembrance, knowledge, forgetfulness, everything comes from him. So sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishtu mattaga smritir jnanam apuhanam cha. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, at that time, I studied all the slokas for my enjoyment. Basically, I was getting so much, every sloka when I just do it. Especially, I memorized most of these slokas in the year, I would say, like 2007-8 time frame, actually. Because I have to, for my work, I have to drive a lot. So at that time, not now. So almost 50 miles each way. So it takes almost 2 hours, 1.5 hours each way. So in my car, I just put all these Bhagavad Gita slokas, keep on listening, memorizing. So that time was really very well spent, actually. So it's all memorized, all the slokas. At that time, I didn't realize Krishna is actually preparing me to give lectures on Bhagavad Gita, which I didn't realize. He has all plans. Krishna has got
we are just the instrument in Lord's hands.
Yes, we are just the instrument. It's so wonderful plans he made it, correct? So I didn't realize that I will be, because I remember all these slokas now, every chapter, every sloka, that's why I'm able to give lectures. But at that time I memorized because I was so interested.
So you learned Sanskrit for it? Okay,
that's a very good question, Madaji. In fact, until this, now in the beginning of this year, you would say, beginning or middle, you would say maybe 6 months ago. So we are in November. So maybe in the March or April only, I started actually reading the Devanagari script actually. So I can't even read Devanagari script. So
But you memorize the
memorize
shlokas.
all the slokas, everything. I know word to word meaning and everything. That's what is the like Bhagavad-Gita as it is. So that's the beauty of Bhagavad-Gita as it is. Srila Prabhupada has written, he gave the English transliteration, correct?
Yes.
So that English transliteration only I was reading all the Sanskrit actually. Otherwise, I never studied Hindi or Devanagari script in my schools. Everything I studied in Tamil medium. So yeah. So now also why I started reading actually now actually it happened. So because I am translating each and every sloka as a song in Tamil actually.
Okay.
Because everything comes like a song. Like in Bhagavad Gita, you can sing this sloka as a song. So like that, this also I can sing like a song in Tamil, every sloka. So I translated all the 700 slokas like that. Actually, in future, it will be very, very beneficial for the devotees to hear it. They will understand. Very simple language only in Tamil. So I did that. So for that, actually, I needed like the pronunciation very carefully. So that's why because I was translating means I need to write that in a Tamil form. So from the English, like transliteration in Tamil, instead of English in Tamil, I need to write this Sanskrit. So the current Tamil Bhagavad Gita edition published by ISKCON, I tried to go through it, but still I didn't understand much. So that's why I myself learned reading this and doing it actually almost. Yeah, so that's the reason actually.
Okay,
So,
yes. Was that this first encounter with Bhagavad Gita in your masters?
Yeah, that was the very first time I know about Bhagavad Gita. Actually, in fact, during my masters when I started, in the class, Maharaj Swamiji, he brings like one page of this slokas and gives to everyone, and everyone recites these slokas together. They recite the slokas together. When I first started reciting with them together, I couldn't pronounce a single word actually. So I felt it's very difficult for me actually. I just move my lips because everybody is doing, but I don't know how to pronounce. So I didn't know anything ABCD of Bhagavad Gita until my masters. I was 23 at that time when I started my masters.
So what motivated you to go into this lecture or arranging the lecture? You said you arranged it.
Yes. So what happened first, it was in a different place room it was happening. And I like in my same house where I lived in IIT Bombay, it was hostel 3 actually. So they're all H1, H2, H3 like that. I was in H3. So my very close friend who was my roommate, neighboring room also, he told me that last week I attended on session in Bhagavad Gita like that. Then I also thought that I will also come with you. So I just went and attended, because the main important point at that time, during those days, my native town is actually too much away from Mumbai. Actually, it was very south Tamil Nadu. So even Sivakasi, where all the firecrackers and all they make, right? So even from Chennai itself, at that time it takes 15 hours by train. Now these days trains are going a little bit faster, but at that time it will take. So that means from Chennai to Mumbai also, the Mumbai mail, Bombay mail, what you call it as, at that time it takes about 32 hours or something like that. Chennai Express, the other Chennai was taking 24, but still, if I want to go to my home, it will take 2 full days actually. So that means I was away, completely away from my family, correct? There is no connection with, I don't know anyone in Mumbai. There was no relative, no one in Mumbai. And I was completely away from my family. And during those days,
phones were there. No phones were there.
No cell phones, nothing. Cell phones were not there. No cell phones. Even landline phones are also not there in many. Maybe in old Sivakasi at that time, maybe in my nearby place, so if they only one phone, maybe post office or something, you may have to go. There was nothing. It was not there actually.
Okay.
So that way, only mode of connection is writing letters. These days, it's not there, correct? Inland, what you call it as inland letters. Even if I write, it will take 2 weeks to reach my parents, and then again, if they reply, another 2 weeks to reach me actually. So that way I felt really very like alone. In the very first semester, I felt very homesick also. So this helped me. This Bhagavad-Gita actually helped me. And when I attended this lecture, actually within a few weeks, that person graduated and we left, and they all came and they were kind of on the road. They didn't know where to go for the arrange. My Maharaj, who also came, and they were just thinking because he was not there, room vacated, and it's Krishna's mercy. He gave me the opportunity. So I asked him, "You come to my room." So that's how they came. Actually, it was a great opportunity. I would say it was wonderful, because every Saturday morning I take everything out of my room. There won't be anything in my room. My table, cart, books, nothing will be there. Everything I keep it out and completely water wash it and everything. So they just come and sit just on the floor. That's it. It was
okay. So, Guruji, were you a spiritual person from starting?
That's a very important question. I would say yes, actually. I was very inquisitive about the God, definitely. So from my childhood also. So I in fact, I created the name of God myself, actually. I was not worshipping a specific God like that. I combined 3 names together, and that's what I was worshipping, actually. I used to write in the notebooks and all at that time, write the God name, correct? So I was combining Jesus and Allah and Krishna. Krishna means Tirumal, what we call it as Tirumal. So combined as a single name. So that was I was worshipping. I was that was during my 7th or 8th grade, actually, as a school student. So yeah, definitely you are right. I was very much a believer of God. There was no doubt about it. So
your house environment was also like that, means that inculcated those.
Not really, because what I would say that not because of the house, because of the like during those days. In general, people were very God conscious, correct? They will find a lot of time to visit temple. There was the place where I lived. There is a very big Krishna temple, which what we call Perumal in Tamil. So very Nindanarayana Perumal temple is there. So we used to go there, and and also Ganesh temple. I was studying. I go to a Ganesh temple. There only I was studying. In fact, I was doing my 10th grade, 12th grade, and all. Because in my home, there will be a lot of noise because we were living in an apartment kind of thing. So there will be a lot of noise. So I used to go there in the temple. So definitely God, I was a very good God believer, no doubt about it.
Okay. So you came to USA for your job, and then you continued your ISKCON journey.
That is correct.
Okay, so you associated with the ISKCON means in your IIT days only.
No, yeah, IIT days, even here in US also. So IIT days in Mumbai, we used to go to the temple every weekend. We go there and we sleep there, and Saturday, Sunday we spend. First they were coming, Maharaj was coming and teaching, Swamiji was coming and teaching us. Then a group of students, we started going with him. When he comes on Saturday morning and gives the lecture, then he was driving a Maruti van, actually. So about 5-6 of us will go with him, actually, when he goes back on Saturday. So then he was going to a medical college in Matunga, and there he was in Sayan, Matunga, or that area, Sayan area. So there also we attend the lecture, then again go with him to the temple in the evening. Then we sleep in the temple, and Sunday feast, we do a lot of services in the temple, like vegetable cuttings and cleaning, a lot of things, actually. Then Sunday night also we sleep there, and then Monday morning only we will come back to hostel, actually. That was a wonderful time. Yeah.
So how did it feel like when you started this journey? In your initial days, you were you found difficult to understand Sanskrit, but I'm sure you will be understanding the meaning what Swamiji was teaching you. So so how was your feeling? What was the experience in the spiritual level? What is the experience at spiritual level?
Very important point, my Swamiji, what his style of teaching, actually, he gives every week after he gives the lecture. He brings prasadam also from the temple. Of course, for us, that was really nice. We get wonderful prasadam. And then he gives the book, each individual. So 20 of us are sitting, means he will give everyone, he will bring a bag of books by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada has written all small books only. There will be 50 pages, 100 pages like that. Raja Vidya, the king of knowledge, perfect questions, perfect answers, and coming back. Like that, there are many books are there actually. So he gives to us, and then next week he will give another book, but he will ask, did you read that? All such things. So we were reading those books actually. In fact, I would say that I used to read the books like anything. Wherever I go, all the time I take the books with me only. So, and read it. Even I still remember when I go to book the reservation sometimes to come home, we have to wait in the queue for hours in Central or railway or Victoria Terminus or Bombay Central, wherever I go for booking. So we take this book and keep reading it fully along the queue. So like that, it was, I read all the books, many books actually. That's what helped us to understand.
Okay, means from ISKCON only you read the books or other books also?
No, ISKCON only, like Srila Prabhupada's books only.
Yeah. Okay. So what were your first spiritual experiences? I'm interested to know. Means जब आपने जैसे पढ़ना शुरू किया, when you started reading, what were your like in a few days or few months of reading, what were the spiritual experience you were having?
Actually, this was very, as I told you in the beginning, it's Bhagavad-Gita is very, I felt it was a science, correct? It's very scientific. So when I was reading Srila Prabhupada's books, many of these slokas, important slokas, they will repeat very often. So in many books, it comes very often. So that gave me a chance to memorize those slokas actually. When same thing comes many times, then it will become easy for us to memorize, correct? So Bhagavad-Gita, as a science only, I was understanding so much of science. Now actually, it's all again Krishna's arrangement. He made me an expert of all subjects now actually. I can teach physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, calculus, any level. I can get into the deeper level and teach actually. So the last few years I was teaching my son also in the college. So he arranged all the need actually. So there was a need to do that. So I became an expert. So I don't know if you, maybe since you started joining recently, but I used to connect a lot of things scientifically, like nervous system, neurons, like our stress level, how the sympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic, everything, how the senses are working. So Bhagavad-Gita talks about senses, mind, intelligence, and the body, and the relationship between them. Indriyani parani avu, indriyebhya param managa, manasastu para buddhi, yo buddhi paratastusa. So senses are superior to dull matter. Mind is above the senses. Intelligence is above the mind. And soul is above the intelligence. All these things are science. So now I understand completely how our senses are working. Each sense, how it works. Completely I know what happens when you are seeing, how it goes through the eyes to the brain and all the parts anatomically. I know each and everything. I understand fully. For the ear, similarly for the ear, what are all the parts in the ear, outer ear, middle ear, inner ear, and then through the brain, all the nervous system which goes, and how the nerves are working, all those things. What I would say is that Bhagavad Gita is a science. That's what I wanted to mention. So,
But I want to know, Guruji, like at mental level, emotional level, or any physical level, what were the changes you saw when you started reading Bhagavad Gita, understanding Bhagavad Gita? So that I wanted to actually know, because you said it helped you in face your loneliness, or it reduced it to a great extent. So it means how it happened. Like, why do you think that? Because you understand so well the science. So how Bhagavad Gita helped you mentally, emotionally, to...
Yes. So what we understand from Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself teaches very first advice to Arjuna itself is that you are speaking like a learned person, but you are worrying for no reason. You are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Wise man laments neither for the living nor for the dead. And he talks in those 20 slokas in the second chapter, 11 to 13, in those 20 verses, he gives a very, very complete scientific understanding that we are not the body, we are the soul actually. So that's what actually made me to investigate more into this, how our body is formed, our cells. So even I know about even our cell also. I know all the organelles in our cell, how it works, everything, the genetics, the nucleus, how everything happens, how things are getting transported within the shell, all those things, everything I understood very clearly. So it's all, so that way everything is matter, correct? Everything is made up of matter. But something which is not changing, that is the soul. That is in general, everybody teaches actually, but I wanted to really understand it scientifically. So with Bhagavad-Gita, so whatever Krishna is teaching, the embodied soul passes from the boyhood to youth, youth to old age. Similarly, at the time of death, it gets another body. It's not very difficult to understand. It's highly scientific, correct? So we are changing bodies. The body what we had at the time of birth and what we have now is completely different. So even if you go to a molecular level, it is different. Biomolecules level also, if you go, it's completely different. So now I'm able to understand, because when you are able to understand this science. So Bhagavad-Gita is a science. And you asked about the emotional aspect and other things, because it gives us the purpose. In fact, one thing I want to mention, when I wanted to memorize Bhagavad-Gita slokas, my decision was actually, first I wanted to finish Bhagavad-Gita, then read any other scriptures. I was at that time thinking that I will go and read other religious scriptures also. That was my intention actually, to understand everything. But Bhagavad-Gita itself, I'm still stuck with Bhagavad-Gita. It looks like I cannot get out of Bhagavad-Gita actually. So it's so much of knowledge, continuous supply of knowledge, continuous source of knowledge. And as Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, that if you know this, you don't need to know anything else. So jnanam tegam sa vijnanam idam vakshyami asesataga yajnatva nekha puyo anyat jnatavyam avasisyati. So if you understand this, there is nothing else is there for you to understand. So that is very much true. If you notice in the lecture also, even though I say repeat the same thing, but Krishna also does the same thing in Bhagavad-Gita. From beginning to end, he gives the same message in different words. He puts the words in different orders and the same message. Like, don't have any attachment to the results. So that means you be attached to me. Then only it's possible. When you're attached to Krishna, then you will not have any attachment to the results. So that over a period of time, when you do that, then you will get attached to Krishna, means then you will start working for Krishna. So that happens. So that means you are not affected by the results. Now I have the plans which are because of this Bhagavad-Gita. Like I can bring some revolution in the education, like for the children's education in India, like poor children. Because now with the online thing you can do, like as I told you, I can teach everything, algebra, geometry, calculus, math, everything to the way a student can understand, correct? That is the main thing. So that I'm aiming in future, something like that's going to, I'm aiming. Krishna is prepared for that. And bring some revolution in the healthcare. So because medically also, even though I'm an engineer, but I understand how our body functions, everything to the major possible extent, I understand completely. So all these things are going to be possible when you identify the devotees. When you identify the devotees everywhere, which you already have noticed in our class also, we have so many devotees. Actually, this itself is we are now finishing almost 700 verses, 700 lectures are there, correct? 700 lectures in your YouTube. That's not an ordinary thing. And now we have groups everywhere, like all the cities also, the groups are formed. All these things are arranged by Krishna. So now we can actually, many devotees, when we are able to identify, Krishna is teaching in Bhagavad-Gita that he is the well-wisher of all living entities. So, Sugurdam Sarva Bhutana. So, I am the well-wisher of all living entities. So, even Sarva Bhuta Hiterataga, we should be, since we are, once we are very satisfied with what we have materially, so we are not after material things. So, we are not after, for example, this Bhagavad-Gita gives us that kind of things. Because materially speaking, he is taking care. Krishna is taking care very well. See, if you realize, by doing all these things, I'm every day giving lectures in the morning and evening. What I'm doing in the evening, morning India time, what you know in English. The same thing I'm doing it in the evening in India time, also in Tamil. There are also 30, 35, 40 devotees right now, they are joining. So there is a tremendous potential that it's also going to increase into hundreds and thousands. It's also becoming thing. So doing that 2 times a day, spending all those things and doing all other things, it's not an ordinary thing. It's Krishna's mercy only. It's possible.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's very difficult, correct? So that way, this revolution in education, healthcare, all those things are very much possible just based on this Bhagavad-Gita. So using Bhagavad-Gita, you identify the devotees and give them the knowledge, and now it's going to happen. When that happens, actually, it is going to be a great thing. Actually, I'm hoping Krishna's mercy will happen.
Yes, sir. Yes, that's a wonderful thing, and I think that's the Lok Sangra you are talking about. The Krishna talked about Lok Sangra, like
yes, Loka Sangram. Yes, that is correct. Exactly, that's what Krishna is teaching us. So Krishna is asking us that Sakta karmani avidvamso yatha kurvanti bharata kuryad vidvams sata saktaga chikirsigu loka sangram. So what Krishna is teaching is that a person who has no knowledge, he is attached and doing the work. Sakta karmani avidvamso. Avidvamso means he has no knowledge and he is attached to the results and working. You also do like him, but since you have the knowledge, you don't be attached. So sakta karmani avidvamso yatha kurvanti bharata kuryad vidvams tata asaktaga chikirsigu loka sangram. So just do it for the benefit of the world. So that way, for us, when we are doing like this, it is very much possible, and Krishna is taking care of everything very nicely. Otherwise, like as I said, 20 years I'm working, everything is happening. So everything Krishna is doing it. That's right. Otherwise, it's impossible, correct? To balance all these things, it's very difficult.
So what are the main teachings which stuck with you personally? Like you teach everything, but what are the main teachings which are stuck with you or you follow personally in your life from Bhagavad-Gita?
So personally, if you ask, one thing is that spreading this Bhagavad-Gita is a very, very important thing. That is, in my case, that is a very primary service to Krishna. So that's a very important. So that's why our Bhagavad Gita classes are going. It's all Krishna's mercy. So whatever may be the reason, I used to give Bhagavad Gita. That's why my advisor, my PhD advisor once visited here, like almost 10 years ago. So he visited me actually. Then we were going to some another city, Austin. And we were coming back from there. It was in the night almost, but that was my time to give Bhagavad Gita lecture in India. So I was giving at that time every weekly once, something like that. So while driving, another friend of mine also came. I asked him to drive, and then I was sitting, and my PhD advisor is my madam, my wife. They were also there. Everyone was there, but I started giving lecture actually. So. In fact, even now he says that he is very committed. You are very So they pay because devotees are waiting. They are doing it. So there is no for this. I don't want to give any excuses. There is no excuse in spreading Krishna's message in general. That's what is a very, very important thing, because that's what is keeping. Because we are all controlled by Maya in this world. No one can say that I'm great, I'm free and all, because the very reason we are having a material body, that itself is the proof that we are under the control of the modes of nature. So it's very difficult. Maya, Krishna himself says that Devi esa gunamayi mama maya duratteya. It's very difficult to overcome actually. So we have to the level possible when we are serving Krishna, that is the only way we can escape from Maya. So only by serving Krishna, remembering Krishna, connected with Krishna, that is the only way we can actually, otherwise we are under the control of Maya. That's it. So that way, yeah.
Yes, sir, I'm saying you are explaining Karam Yoga if I say, because if there are 4 modes, mainly 4 paths which Krishna told, that Karam Yoga, then Gyan Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Raj Yoga. So what mainly I can associate what you are explaining is with Karam Yoga, isn't it?
In fact, this is again wrongly understood actually. So many times devotees also ask which path is the best path, something like that they ask. We need to understand one thing, that Bhagavad Gita itself is yoga, that's it. So the entire Bhagavad Gita we should follow. Because Krishna is giving instructions, the complete instructions in Bhagavad-Gita. And we say that each chapter is Karma Yoga, or Jnana Yoga, or Dhyana Yoga, and Buddhi Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and different yogas, Sankhya Yoga, all such things we say. But we just have to follow whatever Krishna is asking us to do. In that, the topmost action, what we have to do, service to Krishna, is at the end, which we are going to study in the next week. Actually, we finished 65 slokas in the 18th chapter. Correct? We are very close to the finishing it. So 78 slokas. So towards the end, at the end, Krishna is teaching that Yaidam Paramam Guhyam Madbhakte Swabhidasari Bhaktimayi Param Kritva Mami Vesisya Samsa. If anyone gives this knowledge, explains this knowledge to my devotees, I guarantee devotional service to them. They will come to me. There is no doubt about it. And Krishna didn't stop with that. Then he continued in the next sloka that Nachatasman Manusyesu Kaschin me priya kritam. Pavitana me tasman anyaka priyataro bhuvi. So no one else is dearer to me than this person. So that means others also dearer to Krishna, but no one else can become dearer than this person who gives this knowledge to others. Not only now, in the future also no one else can become dearer to me. That's what he says there. Pavita nachame tasman anyaka priyataro bhuvi. So for us, this is what is a very, very important service we need to do, whatever may be the case. So if that's what you are asking. So that is my primary thing comes in.
Okay.
And
So
yeah, please continue. Yeah.
It is from starting that this particular thing stuck with you, like service to Krishna?
That
From
is
starting.
Yeah, automatically when you are right. Maybe that's what I was doing as a student, also organizing the lectures in IIT, Mumbai, IIT, Madras, all those things. Somehow that interest came at that time itself because of the science. Bhagavad-Gita is a science you want to give and all such things. So yeah, you are right. So that from starting itself, as soon as I understood that Bhagavad-Gita is not, it's very unfortunate that people in general, we think that we talk about secularism and other things and we miss the knowledge, this king of knowledge, Rajavidya, correct? Bhagavad-Gita is the king of knowledge and Krishna is teaching us how to control our mind. Everyone has got the mind, whether I follow particular faith or not, it doesn't matter. Everyone is a soul, everyone has a mind. We need to control our mind. And Krishna is teaching us the complete knowledge. So that way, Bhagavad-Gita is a science, no doubt about it. And so we need to do this everywhere. And this, if we do it, other things automatically will follow. Krishna will take care. So this is the main thing.
It happened in your life that you say, if you follow Krishna, everything would be taken care of.
That's what is happening until now. This is, isn't it a miracle? Like all these years, Krishna is taking care of everything. He has completely, otherwise it's very difficult to balance all these things. You are giving lectures and following and communicating everywhere. It needs a lot of effort also. And where is the energy coming from? Krishna is giving the energy. And financially also I should be stable. Otherwise it's very difficult, right?
Yes.
So I have 3 boys. So I have twins, actually, second identical twins, and bringing up children here in US is a very tough task, actually. A lot of things we only have to do. There is no other support. You don't get any other support. Everything we need to take care, correct?
Yeah, physically, emotionally, mentally.
Yes, physically, emotionally, mentally, and maintaining the house and all those things. It's not. It involves a lot of activities, a lot of tasks, actually. It's so much. Without Bhagavad-Gita, without Krishna doing all those things, how is it possible?
Yes.
It's everything only we have to do. I'm not saying that others are not able to do and all, but we are able to do along with teaching Bhagavad-Gita, correct? It's without any stress, no stress. I don't have to take any medicine for blood pressure or sugar. I don't have to worry about all those things, correct? See, Bhagavad-Gita means there is no stress. So there is no need for worrying about our health, like stress-related health disorders won't come, actually. So that's what is very important. Yeah.
So this you say, sir, is the physical benefit of following Bhagavad-Gita?
Very, very physical benefit of very much. This is a very important thing that, in fact, you asked a very good question. This is one of the very important question what you asked now, actually. If we follow Bhagavad-Gita, we will not have any anxiety disorders, first of all. First of all, maybe the reason we can go to Bhagavad-Gita is because of the anxiety disorders, because Arjuna himself was so much of, because that is one of the reasons they go to Bhagavad-Gita. But if you have such problems, if you go to Bhagavad-Gita, it will solve the problem completely. So you don't have to take any medications for depression, like antidepressants or any psychiatric disorders, it won't come. And stress itself, if you are engaged in Krishna service all the time, that brings you so much of happiness, correct? So when you are so much satisfied, so much happy, you are not going to be under stressful condition. So that's what I was telling in the beginning to you, somewhere in between, about the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, correct? So we have the two types of, it's a science, complete science. It's a nervous system. So we know about the sensory nervous system is there. So there is somatosensory, through which you are receiving the knowledge. That's afferent, that's going to the brain. So there is a sensory nervous system. That is Jnanendriyas. That's what Krishna in Bhagavad-Gita, it is called Jnanendriyas. Through Jnanendriyas, you are getting the knowledge. Your eyes to see, ears to hear, nose to smell, and skin to touch, and tongue to taste. Everything you are getting the knowledge. And then in our body, what we have, the motor nervous systems. So the motor nervous system is what is called Karmendriyas. That's it. So Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas. Karmendriyas are our motor nervous system. It is efferent. It is coming from the brain to the parts of our body. So that motor nervous systems, Karmendriyas are legs, hands, and voice, and anus and genital. Correct? Everything you move it. To talk, I have to move everything. So it's all motor nervous system. Other than that, there is autonomic nervous system. Is there. So that autonomic nervous system, in that, it's not in our control. So not in our control means it's not that I want to move my hand, my leg, or something like that. But in that, actually, sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system are actually, sympathetic nervous system is when we get under stress, when we are under stressful situation, immediately, because it's all connected. Sympathetic nervous system also a different network. So you are suddenly, when we are very nervous, what is going to happen is that in order to conserve energy in our body, so it will stop the digestion system, it will stop the other things, and then your heart rate is going to increase, and blood pressure is going to increase, heart rate, respiration rate, respiratory rate, all those things will increase. So it's all happening because of the sympathetic nervous system. That is known as fight or flight. That's what they call it in the thing, fight or flight. So either you fight or you fly. So that's what is the sympathetic nervous system. And parasympathetic nervous system is known as rest and digest. So that is, you are very peaceful, very calm. So at that time, you will get enough energy for the stomach and guts, intestines to work and everything. So if sympathetic nervous system is acting, you will get indigestion, stomachache, all problems will come with sympathetic nervous system. So, all these things in Bhagavad-Gita, if you follow, then we will not be under any stressful situation. So that means heart rate will not go up, blood pressure will not go up, and all those things. Definitely, it is the medicine for today's problems. Actually, if we follow Bhagavad-Gita sincerely, we don't have to go to doctor and take medications. It is very much true.
Okay, that's very, very scientifically and very wonderfully, sir. You explained that how it is also mentioned in Bhagavad-Gita.
Yes,
but not in modern medical terms.
That's correct. It's not modern medicine. Unfortunately, they're not understanding this. There is a problem. You think that we are great, we are science, we are doing all those things. The same Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, what you call Jnanendriyas is somatosensory system. What you call Karmendriyas is the motor nervous system. If that much is discussed here, then why don't you completely take the entire Bhagavad-Gita and understand and follow it? We think that we are great. We don't follow that. In fact, in reality, we are stupid. If you don't do that, we lose it, correct? And this four varnas, that's a very big science. There's Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. We think that, they have divided like this. It is not correct. Today, everyone is equal, all such things. It is not true. Of course, it is not by birth, but major big industries, what they do is what they follow is the disc profiling. I don't know if you heard about that or not. You can Google it, disc profiling, DISC. So disc profiling. D is dominance, I is influence, S is steadiness, and C compliance. That's what is disc profiling. So dominance is Kshatriya, influence is Vaishya, steadiness is Brahmana, and compliance is Sudra. That's it. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. Krishna is saying that Chaturvanya Maya system, Guna Karma Vibhagaska, based on what work you do, these 4 varnas I created. And Brahmana, Kshatriya, Visam, Sudra, Namcha, Parandapa, Karmani, Pravibhaktani, Swabhava, Prabhavair Gunayi. They are all created because of this Swabhava. So about this Swabhava, Swadharma, Swakarma, all these things are so much science actually. Everything is science. So we need to consider Bhagavad Gita like that. We should not think that Bhagavad Gita is a part of some religion or faith or something like that. It's only followed by Hindus or something. We are missing it. Who is ultimately the loser?
Yes.
So the loser is, that's the problem. So the problem is that we need to understand that way. In fact, this is the knowledge, this is the science everyone should study. Every individual, it is for the soul. This is the science of the soul.
Bhagavad Gita is science of the soul. Very
beautiful. Yes, it's the science of the soul. So everything very clearly we understand it. We are not the body, we are the soul. And so modern, we think we are advancing, and if we don't even understand that we are not the body, we are the soul. So then it's not going to help us. It's not going to help the soul. We will be losing ourselves. The soul will be, that's what very unfortunate.
Soul will be losing such a opportunity of having a human body. And
exactly, you brought a human body. That's what I always emphasize in my Bhagavad Gita lectures. This human body is very, very rare to get, and all these things only with human brain you can do. That also I understood when I studied about the scientific aspect of Bhagavad Gita, about when I studied about the brain. Only the human brain is special compared to other animal brains. So only we have huge frontal lobe. So there is something called frontal lobe, then temporal lobe, occipital lobe, all such a lobe, parietal lobe, and occipital lobe, temporal. 4 lobes are there in our brain. So other animals, they have a very small frontal lobe. They cannot, where the frontal lobe is the one, all the executive actions, thinking, this intelligence, all those things, what you call sixth sense, correct? Everything you are with the, it's possible with the frontal lobe. Only we have got it. If you don't use it, then there is no difference between having this brain and our animal brain. That's it.
But sir, I have heard few of your lectures. You don't use those scientific terms in there.
Because if I use every time those scientific terms, it's difficult for others, everyone to understand, correct? I have, in fact, I think you have, since you had only very few recently, correct? But if you go through other lectures, I have this, all these things I have used many times. Many times in the past, I have used about all this nervous system and brain, all those things I have already used. And also when I go and give such lectures in medical colleges, I have given like that in the past actually. So there I use this completely as a science only, it goes completely. I have given to medical, like about sleep also, the spiritual perspective of sleep. I have given to the students and the entire anesthesia faculty also in Savita Medical College I have done. So all those things depending upon the audience, correct? So that's what we need to do. Yeah, but it is science.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your this insight. But I would also like to know, means how it impacted your personal life, like your relationship at personal level, home level, like with your spouse, your kids, your parents, your friends, and then the next means how it impacts your relationship at your work. Your peer level, juniors, superiors. How it impacts
everything is a positive impact because we know what to do. Our responsibilities, we know what to do. So when you ask about my parents became a very, very great devotees of Krishna. Actually, my mother, when I was doing my master's at that time in IIT Bombay, correct, I used to write letters, correct. just by writing the letters only, my mother became a devotee, only by reading my letters.
Okay.
So, because I can't talk much, there is no way I can communicate. So I write letters, all this philosophy, Bhagavad-Gita. She accepted Krishna as the Supreme Lord. She is very, very ardent devotee of Krishna. She chants, following everything. So she herself is, and my family, my brothers, everybody became devotees. So that was a very big thing. But in my family, no one is no one is interested in attending all those things. But still, I'm doing as a responsibility, as a household responsibility. Everything is done because Bhagavad Gita knowledge only gives us that patience to do all those things, correct? Because as we discussed earlier, to bringing up a family and giving them proper studies, proper education, and all those things. Of course, they are in college right now. They just started last year. My twins, my elder son is going to graduate. So they got good colleges, good degrees, good GPS. Everything Krishna takes care, of course. But, but a lot of responsibility is there with us, actually. So all those things, that way, they sometimes are not very happy that I'm not spending enough time with them. But because every day, morning, evening, all the time, I sit and teach Bhagavad Gita, correct? So, but for me, Krishna's service is very important. But whatever time needed, I spent with them. In fact, that's how the responsibility when you grow them, correct? Otherwise, how is it possible? So now, these days, I'm spending more time here. Yes.
Okay, so how do your you said that your family sometimes complains about the lack of attention from you.
Yes.
So how do you balance that thing then?
Because they know that I am not going to come out of this Bhagavad Gita class already. They know, because even though they complain, because whatever is needed, I have taken care. All the responsibilities I have done. That way, I won't say that I ignore them, correct? So until they finish their high school and everything, now they are on their own. So that way, I don't have to now really. They don't really need my service, correct? So that is the thing.
And what about your wife? Is she also following
No.
similar path?
No. So that's another thing. It's Krishna's mercy. Even now, I'm able to balance all those things and do this actually. So,
yes.
in fact, in a family, if others are not very much following, it's very, very difficult. But somehow Krishna's mercy, it is happening. Yeah, it's all, I would say.
And what about the quality of relationship? Like this, sometimes we have arguments and disagreements, and conflicts in relationships. How do you handle that? And from the point of view of Bhagavad Gita, how do you handle that?
That's what Bhagavad Gita gives us a lot of patience. That's what's the main thing. It teaches us anything. Only when you are attached, then you get angry. And angry comes with attachment only, because Krishna is teaching in Bhagavad Gita, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaga Sangaste Supajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaga Kamat Krodo Abhijayate. So when we are attached to Bhagavad Gita, when we are serving Krishna, then you will get a lot of, all these things. In any arguments, if both are arguing, then it's going to be continue, correct? If one person is giving up, then it's not a problem. So that way, when you are focusing more on Krishna, I don't think it's Krishna gives all he takes care. So
whenever in a conflict situation, you focus on Krishna. Is that what you're saying?
That is correct. You don't get disturbed too much. So it's
okay. So you say that your attachment is towards Krishna. So kind of there is a detachment from all the other worldly things.
What I want to say is that when you are attached to Krishna, when you are serving Krishna in the service of Krishna, a lot of things Krishna also will do to us. That is the main thing. He is also serving us. So when all the time we say that we are serving Krishna, we are serving Krishna. But we need to understand that Krishna is serving us. So when Arjuna told Krishna that Karishe Vachanam Tava, I will act as per your instructions, I will fight. But who was actually driving that chariot? Krishna. He was only doing it. So Arjuna, that means Arjuna has to order Krishna. Krishna, you turn left means Krishna has to turn left. He cannot say that I taught you Bhagavad-Gita lecture and everything I have given you. I am God, you understood and everything. So I will turn right. Like that he cannot say. Correct? So who is Supreme Lord? Who taught the Bhagavad-Gita? He is the ultimate Supreme Personality of God, Purushottama. That's what he said that. I am the Purushottama. There is no other truth superior to me, all those things. But when Arjuna told Krishna that, Senayor Ubayor Madhye Ratam Stapaya Me Achyuta. That's what Arjuna told Krishna. You take the chariot between both the armies. So Krishna did that. Senayor Ubayor Madhye Stapayitva Evamukva Rishi Keshaga Gudakesena. Then Senayor Ubayor Madhye Stapayitva Ratottamam. So he took the chariot between both the armies. That means he just obeyed Arjuna's order. So basically, Krishna was a servant to Arjuna, correct? That's what we need to understand. So for us, when we are depending on Krishna, Krishna is actually our servant, actually. That we need to know. Even though we understand he is the Supreme Lord, but he is serving us, actually. Out of love, of course.
So, sir, how do you handle your relationship with your superiors, your juniors, and your peers?
All the things Krishna gives us the intelligence. That is the main thing. Krishna gives us the knowledge, intelligence, everything to handle all the problems when you are Krishna conscious. So when you are working for Krishna, even results also he gives. Even in the work, when you go very complex work, as I told you, I'm working in the computational fluid dynamics. So it's a very complicated math actually. In the math, when you do CFD, what you call computational fluid dynamics, he gives the intelligence, he gives the knowledge and everything. So I am working with my professor, my PhD advisor, other students, and try to now help other students also. We are trying to establish something to like teach all these skills to many engineering college students. Actually, we are working on that. So all those things he gives the knowledge. So even in the work, because we need the intelligence, we need the knowledge and everything, correct? So Krishna says that I give it. It comes from me. So that's.
So can you quote any example, recent example where you think in a conflict situation or an office politics situation, your knowledge of Bhagavad-Gita has helped you?
Every time, it's not one or two examples. All these years, as you know that all the time there will be, you need to work hard, there will be deadlines, you need to meet, you need to do a lot of things. But Krishna makes our life very simple. That's what we need to understand. Because when he is working, that's what I told you, Krishna is a servant and he is doing it. So he told Arjuna, Krishna told Arjuna in Bhagavad-Gita that Bhishmam cha Dronam cha Jayadradam cha Karnam tatanyanapi yoda viran maya khatam tvam jahima vyatista yuddhasva chetase rane sapatma. So Bhishma, Drona, Jayadrada, Karna, they are all already killed by me. You just shoot arrows. That's what he said. Mm-hmm. So for your question of any work environment, office or anything, any conflicting situations, so when we are really working for Krishna, they are all solved by Krishna. You understand what I'm trying to say? Krishna, you will see that, you will feel that. You will feel that everything.
Example, sir. Can you give one incident or some example?
It's very hard to give one specific example like that, but what I would say is that all these years I was able to work and produce the results and meet the requirements, and everything is going so smooth. So that itself is an example, correct? That itself, so many projects you do, so many things you do, and everything is happening without any issues. It's all he has got plans. That is the main thing. Krishna will. So it's very difficult to pinpoint one example like that. But only one thing I can say that not even one example. Every time, every problem, he solves it. The very proof that all these years I am able to work and do all these things, give these lectures and make devotees, identify devotees and teach Bhagavad-Gita. That itself is an example. So that's what I told you, like managing everything, both financially and physically, emotionally, all those things are very difficult tasks. But what I want to say that without Bhagavad-Gita, these things are unimaginable. Because I'm saying that I'm also in parallel, I'm doing Bhagavad-Gita in TV also. Every week it's coming in TV for last many years in Tamil. Every Sunday morning, 8:30 to 9 o'clock in Malay Morosu TV channel is coming. I have to record every week and I have to send it on time. So that's a very, very important thing. I cannot miss a single week, correct? So
Yes.
doing that every week and I think. And also every week I'm also giving lecture also in a university here, and every day morning and evening this lectures. A lot of devotees, a lot of students. So I'm also supporting some student also. They are now doing full time. I told you about education, correct? We want to bring some, so that I'm going to focus a lot on that. And a lot of such things are happening. So many things are happening. If I don't have Bhagavad-Gita, then I lose control of all those things. It's hard to go to bed and sleep.
Yes.
So for you ask, we'll give one example. So I'm just saying that to do all these things, and in parallel, I translated the entire Bhagavad-Gita in Tamil as a song also, correct? I told you. So that's also happening. That also finished. So now I am also telling you that I also got all the knowledge in all the subjects: physics, chemistry, biology, math. Any subject you ask, anything you ask, I can teach. I can teach any student. In any subject, like genetics, if you ask anything, or any problems, or even complex integral calculus, or anything you ask in the mathematics. I'm not bragging myself, but I want to. In fact, I can say it's also I can brag because it's Krishna's mercy. That is the main thing. It's because of Krishna's mercy, you are able to get this. I started my tutoring company also. I'm of course tutoring some few students. I'm not finding time to develop that, but in future I will do that also. It's known as BCPM tutor, biology, chemistry, physics, math tutor. Okay. So there's a company I registered here in Texas. So that also I could do. So I'm also, as I told you, to help the engineering college students, we are going to register very soon a company in India. So where we are going to teach all these engineering skills, correct, for the students to analysis skills with my professor and other students who did PhD at the time with me or studied with me. So I formed a team with them and mainly organizing all those things. I'm doing that. So I'm just listing what are all the things are happening in parallel, correct? So again, it's to help the education only, help the students to get the skills so that they can get job readiness, correct? It's to share what you have and give it to others. That is the main thing. So that is the main intention. So, and in that case, my professor also is with me, and he is also happily helping and very actively involved. So that is very rare. Like after so many years of finishing my PhD, I'm still in contact. So in IIT, correct? So I'm just telling all this as an example. So these things, so many things going in parallel when you want to balance everything. So without Krishna's mercy, we cannot do that.
So you surrender everything to Krishna. Means what are you saying is like you have one initiative and then you surrender it to Krishna. So he balances it.
In fact, what I would say is that when our goal is to please Krishna, especially spreading this Bhagavad-Gita, this is the one thing, main important thing. All other things are secondary. I told you already, correct, in the beginning. The primary thing is teaching Bhagavad-Gita. That is our primary task. So when we are able to do that, all other things, Krishna is planning actually. It's all these things, when I say that I'm not saying that I am planning, I want to do all those things. It's Krishna is planning and he is engaging. It's all his plans, his ideas.
But it comes to your mind. It comes to your mind.
Yes, he uses us as instruments, correct? He comes to my brain, he only gives. He only gives the knowledge. That's what I told you. I am seated in everyone's heart. And from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Correct? So he knows exactly at what time to do what with us. When we submit ourselves, he can do that. He can't do that when we won't submit ourselves.
Okay.
He cannot plan for us if we don't accept his his service. He cannot serve us if you don't accept his service. That is the mind.
So you live in complete surrender.
Exactly. He's helping us, he's serving us. And if we don't, if you are not ready to accept, if we say that I can take care of myself, I don't need you, then he can't help us.
Yes, yes. Yes.
You understand what I'm trying to say, that one? So he is, he has got plans. So that's what I told you, I want to revolutionize the education. Now I got a lot of confidence in doing that. It is very much possible. Because of the knowledge gained, all the knowledge, all those things. They want to revolutionize the healthcare. If these two things are taken care, then a lot of other good things will happen actually.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
If in a national level, for example, in India, if we revolutionize the education and healthcare in a very scientific way using Bhagavad-Gita, so that Krishna's idea, Krishna's plans, and he is using as tools. So maybe I'm hoping, yeah.
No, sir, please continue.
No, what I said that maybe I hope this will, when it materializes, we will know. This is I'm having a lot of confidence that I can do that. We can do that. I mean, it's Krishna's message as a team confidence, but definitely one thing I want to state at this point is that until now, from the beginning, whatever you wanted to do for Krishna, it always happened. Everything.
So because you surrender everything to him now. You surrender everything.
Always. Anything you just desire, I want to do like this, then you see that it happened. He just, because he's doing it. When you just decide, I want to do like this Bhagavad-Gita class, so many devotees, we want to study, join, all those things. This was my simple desire. Now it's happening. Everywhere, all over the India and Canada, Singapore, US, a lot of devotees are there. Now we have the potential to increase more, correct? When we start the next cycle.
Yes, sir. So, sir, whenever an obstacle comes, like in these classes also which you were starting, so you must have seen that there are certain people, like in starting people were less, and then many people come, and then they drop out, and then they rejoin. So how do you handle it? These are kind of obstacles. Sometimes you think that people are not joining much, or the impact you wanted is not that much on devotees. So how do you handle those kind of feelings? Because they are kind of,
Again, this is a very important question also, what you asked is, because as you noticed in the very beginning, I didn't mention that to you yet. In the year 2009, I was telling that, and in between we stopped due to other questions. Of course, we discussed very important points, but in the year 2009, when I started teaching these students in IIT Madras, correct, only 4 or 5 students, they were actually assembled in one room. And at that time, others, the interested people, slowly they were listening. Then they started connecting using cell phone to other students or other people, whoever got interested. So that means they have found a way in assembling in one room at a given time, every week, weekly once. They were simultaneously with 4 phones, they were connecting some 20-25 people.
Okay.
At that time, it's very difficult to imagine, correct?
Yes.
At that time, there was no Zoom, nothing. These things are not there. This technology was not there at that time. When this technology was not there, in fact, I was connecting 1,000 people at that time. 1,000. I almost. Then what happened is that when this became 25, 50 like that, then my brother, who is a doctor, but he was actually doing a lot of computer things, he created this voice over IP tool, where he was writing a macro or something like that. With a given click on that macro, it will connect to many, it will send calls to many phones, many cell phones actually. So it will become all incoming for a call for them, but it will cost me.
Okay, so but you for the charges?
Yes, at the time I was literally spending about 70,000-80,000 rupees per month. I'm talking about in the year 2011 to 14 when we are doing it. But we don't know if those devotees are listening to that or not. We don't know, because it all calls goes to them. If they just take the call and just keep the phone and go, also you don't know. It will just money will go. Every week you put money on that, and then we do that, correct? So we were that much committed to teach this Bhagavad-Gita.
So why did you do that, sir? Means what motivated you to do this? Because you didn't know the result.
No, but we know that some are listening, correct? Even whoever is listening. In that, even now, like like some of them are joining now. They are from that time actually. They listen actually. It's not everybody may not be listening. So many are listening. So we were connecting at the same time 500, 600 calls connecting, going through. And some families were listening. All those things happen. So this was I'm talking about. That time Zoom technology was not there. But still we did that. And so then in fact, the Zoom now it becomes so famous, but I started using Zoom maybe the day they launched this technology actually. I created my account long time ago actually. So yeah, so that way, all Krishna is arranging all these things.
So sir, but how do you handle like, sometime what you have planned, it doesn't go as per your plan. So how do you handle that situation?
Because we are planning for Krishna, that is the main thing. So
Okay.
whatever we are planning for Krishna. If it is not going as per our plan, then maybe that was not Krishna's plan.
Okay.
Correct? Krishna's plan will always be successful. Krishna will never meet with any failure. Except one thing. Except his one wish is not getting fulfilled, that he wants all of us to forget this material world and go to him. That is his desire.
Yes.
We are not ready for that. He can't do that anything. He is helpless.
So that's what he is doing through you and people like you.
Maybe like us, maybe we can say all of us can together, we can bring that change. If you identify, see, there are, based on the statistics, what Krishna says that there are 1 in 1,000 is a devotee. That is the statistics. Manushyanam sagasresu kaschit yatati siddhi. So what do you think will be is the population of India right now? Is it 1.30
crore means
130 crores, 1.3 billion. That was, I think, 10 years ago, correct? In the last census, I remember. Maybe, okay, even you keep it as 130 crores now. So that means 1.3 billion. So there is a population in terms of billion, 1.3 billion. So that means 1 in 1,000 is 1.3 million devotees are there. If you only take 1 in 1,000, I'm talking about only in India, 1.3 million devotees. So 1.3 million is 1 million is 10 lakhs. Okay, so there are 13 lakh devotees are there. So we need to identify them. That's a very important task for us. Right? If all these 13 lakh devotees means there's 13 lakh devotees who understand Bhagavad-Gita fully. Our goal is to teach Bhagavad-Gita fully. If we can identify all of them, if they understand Bhagavad-Gita fully, completely, then if they all come together, do selfless service to Krishna, then imagine what impact we can make it. So that is the thing. We have a huge market. Like other people, like marketing people or other business people, they always do the statistics. Where is the market? How many you can sell? All those things, correct? Same thing here in Bhagavad Gita. Also, we have a huge market. Actually, we have to now use it. If we don't use it, we'll lose it.
Okay, so this is the market for Nishkam Karma, no? Would you say it's the market?
Exactly. You should identify the devotees and make some 13 lakh devotees who are serving Krishna, who are not worried about material things. Materials, of course, nobody is going to lose anything materially. Krishna is teaching that Neha Vikrama Nasosti Pratyavayo Na Vidyate. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution. Even a little advancement can protect from the most dangerous type of fear. Swalpam apiyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. So that way, so we have a huge opportunity in front of us to do that. So that's what our goal. It will happen. Krishna's desire is also that way. It will happen, and we don't have to get affected by this. Anything, whatever happens.
So you don't get offended or you don't get disheartened if people don't turn up or the results are not that. Because you're not attached to the result, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we understand everyone has got some problems, some difficulties. Someday if they are not able to join, maybe now we have the YouTube channel, we are putting it there. Many devotees are watching in YouTube channel also. So they can go and listen to that. The next week, next day they can come. See, that way, that's how we started like that. Even this class also, originally when the beginning we started with 5, 6 devotees, well, I remember. Now we are finishing it, we are 50 devotees. In between 60, 70 also are there, but now 50 are regularly joining, but another 50 are actually watching in the YouTube. We can say 100. It's not even 50, 100. So imagine if this 100 becomes 1,000, becomes 10,000, 15,000. This is going to become a big thing, big thing. And there is no money involved in this.
Yes, sir.
We don't have to worry about nobody, everybody's time only is involved. Everybody's coming. So everybody is very interested. They are spending even all of these devotees coming and spending 2 hours every day, at least 1 hour every day is not an easy thing, correct?
Yes, yes. In these busy times, it's tremendous if they are having such dedication.
Yeah, having such dedication. Now everyone is actually coming forward to. We are thinking of creating that 5-minute promotional video for sharing their experiences. So devotees from different cities all over, like India, Canada, Singapore, US, all those things. If they give that video and give it, so they are coming forward to do this itself is a big change, correct? They are coming forward and doing that. We have a team in Delhi already, and in Bangalore also there is a team they met last week also. So it's going to grow. It's all our wish, and Krishna is making them happen. We need to actually focus on the students more, the generation. So that's my main goal, which I have not mentioned to you. I've given these lectures in many colleges. Whenever I visit India, that's my complaint with my kids also. Like, you say that you go visit India and be with your parents, all those things, but you are all the time away going to all different colleges. You just leave us and go. So I go to every college and give lectures. That is the main thing. So they are our future thing. We need to give this Bhagavad-Gita to all the students, especially the college students. What I got in IIT Bombay, IIT Madras, that opportunity should be there in each and every institution. The institution is not teaching, but we should provide opportunities to those who are willing to study. If 1 in 1,000, if there are 3,000-4,000 students are there, there are at least some 10 devotees will be there, correct? So we need to identify.
Yes. So, do you see your work, means your corporate work, also part of it? Means, how do you see your corporate work in this larger scheme of life?
Everything is Krishna's. Everything is connected with Krishna. Nothing is not connected with Krishna. Because when Krishna is teaching us that you have a right to perform your duty, but you don't have the right over the results. So, Kananyeva adhikaraste ma paleshu kadasana. Okay, but everywhere, everyone is results oriented. That is the main thing. Krishna is saying that results don't belong to you, but in general, we are results oriented only, correct? If there are no results, then we don't want to do. But when you do it for Krishna, that is the main thing. So Krishna gives us the intelligence to work smart. That is the main thing, to use intelligence. So to solve problems. So that's where we can use our experience, skills, knowledge, and everything Krishna gives. So that way everything is connected with Krishna. All the things. We think that corporate or any other work, or we are building so many buildings, infrastructure, roads, and all those things we are thinking we are making it. This all belongs to whom? They all belong to whom? It's not belonging to anyone. Everything belongs to Krishna, actually. In fact, Maya is doing everything. Nobody is doing anything. Everything is done by Maya, because everyone is under the control of Maya only. We only think that we are doing it and we are claiming the results. That is the wrong. There is a mistake what we are doing it. But everything is done by Maya, and everything is owned by Krishna. This world, material world, all the big projects, this, that, everything, all the industries, everything is, who is the owner? Krishna is the owner. We think that I am the shareholder, I own it. No. It's everything. Krishna is the ultimate, 100% share is with Krishna only all the time. That's what we need to know. So that way, if we think like that, then there are no problems. That is the main thing.
So, as you said that Krishna gives us intelligence to solve problem and work smart. So do you think the creativity and innovation is also part of that spiritual bend? Or spirituality gives us that kind of mind, flexible mind, which we see a problem from a different angle and we have, better way of solving it.
Yes, Krishna gives the knowledge means, first of all, any problem, if you are not under stress, we discussed about stress earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we are not focused, not thinking about the results and doing our level best, then we will be able to get the maximum results. That is the main thing. Even if we are studying for an exam, if we don't think about the results, but if we put all the efforts in preparing for the exam, then we can get excellent grades. But sometimes, many times, students, when you sit in the exam, you are very nervous, correct? You don't know what. So first of all, due to their nervousness and worry itself, a lot of things you will forget. Yes. So that way, when we are acting for Krishna, depending on Krishna, especially one thing, if we are always engaged in Krishna's service, in spreading Bhagavad-Gita, all the other things, as I told you, that Krishna is doing it. That's what he will do it. You will be able to feel it. You will be able to feel Krishna is doing it.
So you think that it makes you more creative and innovative?
Yes, definitely. Of course, he gives the ideas. You can think clearly. That is the main thing. You can think clearly and
find smart solutions for problems.
Yes, everything. You will be able to see everyone, anyone. That's why they are now talking about this Bhagavad-Gita in corporate and Bhagavad-Gita in IIM, all those things. But one thing, if they don't bring Krishna into picture, they are not going to get the real knowledge of Bhagavad-Gita.
Okay. Is there any you have already covered like how it impacted your family and friends and how you are involved in community and society. Also, part of Lok Sangrah is like all the sentient beings, not just human beings.
Yes.
And also nowadays there is a talk about sustainability, environmental protection, and all. So how do you think, means in your own life, means inspired by Bhagavad Gita, do you take any actions for in that sense, like which is environment friendly, for preserving the environment, sustainability?
Yeah. We have to first of all eat only vegetables and fruits. That itself, if we do, a lot of things will change. And like grains, and what I mean is that like the sattvic foods. That's what Krishna is teaching in Bhagavad-Gita. Ayu sattva bala arogyam sukha priti vivardhanaga rasyaga sinigdaga stiraga agaraga sattvika priyaga. So that means no packaged foods, no fast foods, all those things. Unfortunately, these days everything is going towards that. What you can order online, what somebody can deliver to your home and then you eat, that is all not at all good for health. Even for environment also, it is not needed, not good for it. So everything starts from the prasadam, like what you make it at home and offer to Krishna. So if you buy fresh vegetables, fruits and all those things and make good fresh prasadam every day, so don't use the in fact, I don't find there is a need for refrigerator at home, actually, if you do this cooking every day. Why do we need refrigerator, first of all? If we are cooking every day, you don't have to refrigerate anything. All fresh vegetables, because you are offering prasadam to Krishna. So that way, all these things, a lot of things actually, when you do, especially you are cooking and offering prasadam to Krishna, and that way, first of all, your material needs itself will go down, and you don't need all these TVs and other things also, because you don't have time to watch, you don't have time to waste. That is the main thing. Sitting in front of TV, watching the serials, watching the games, watching so many advertisements, also forced watching of advertisements, doing all those things, we are wasting our human life, correct? We are completely wasting this. We talked about the excellent human brain, human body, all those things. So news and all those things. Everyday news are changing these days. Unfortunately, they are covering all the the news, and then they are showing it. Like if some accident happens, somebody gets crushed and killed, then you want to show it on the TV news. Why you need to show all those things? Somebody is suffering, somebody is dying, all those things, and you want to watch all those things, correct? I'm just saying as an example, the way modern the media is actually people are becoming victims of the media. That's a very bad thing. It's all everything is business, money oriented, all those things, correct? So that way you can environmentally, you don't need all these things, all these things. Whatever the basic needs you need, you can have it. You understand what I mean? Like food and other things, time, because you need to spend very quality time. Krishna is saying that one should not eat too much, one should not eat too little, one should not sleep too much, one should not sleep too little. So,
balancing it.
Yeah, na ati asnatasti yogosti nachaikanta manasnataka. Nacha ati swapna silasya jagrato naiva chartana. So all these things, if we are able to, in essence, if we follow Bhagavad-Gita fully, what Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, then your question is answered there actually. If we study Bhagavad-Gita, we are going to follow Bhagavad-Gita. That's it.
So you follow all these things, sir, like what you said, like less material needs and...
Yes, as you yourself know, you are seeing that I don't have any time actually for other things also. First of all, I follow, but because all the time engaged in, if you want to do all these things, like teach Bhagavad-Gita, now our things are every day, it's increasing a lot, correct? So now we have a lot more plans to do, a lot more things to do. So that way there is no, when you engage, that's what, when you engage in Krishna's service, then automatically you will not follow you will not do all these things. You will not have time to do that.
So the life becomes sattvic in your mind.
Exactly.
You live a sattvic life.
Yes, when you want to offer prasadam to Krishna every day, because you love Krishna so much, that itself takes good amount of time every day. When you want to prepare fresh prasadam every day and offer to Krishna.
So you do it, or your wife does it?
I do my cooking myself, everything.
Okay.
She does herself, yeah. Because I don't want to get all onion, garlics and all. So that way. And another thing is that we want to offer to Krishna. As I told you, because they are not following this, so that way I don't disturb, I don't bother. So I do.
Okay. So you respect their individuality.
Of course, I can't see, nobody can be forced in any way. That is the main thing. But there are certain things I won't allow. For example, no, of course they don't eat meat, but if they want, then I don't allow. Some such things we can't respect, but these things.
Okay. So sir, largely I've understood, but what's you think is the purpose of life? Like your purpose of life?
The purpose of my life is actually to please Krishna, to be with him, go to Goloka, please Krishna. That is the main thing. The goal of life is to go to Goloka.
Okay.
That is the main thing. So Krishna is saying in Bhagavad-Gita many times. So sometimes devotees say that, oh, that also is a greed, that also is an attachment like that. But I don't believe in that. That attachment, everyone should have it. Everyone should have the attachment to go to Goloka. That's what Krishna himself says repeatedly in Bhagavad-Gita. You come to me, do this, you will come to me like that. Then we should not say that, oh, that is also an attachment. We should not have that. That is not the right thing. Because having a material body here in this world, that means we are in the suffering. This is a dukkhalaya. Krishna says that this dukkhalayam asasvatam. So at the same time, give this knowledge to many devotees and make the life of others also to our extent possible. This knowledge itself is the asset. If you give this knowledge to others, which you can share unlimitedly. And nothing is going to, if you share this knowledge, I'm not going to become a poor, right? This Bhagavad-Gita knowledge is the one thing you can share unlimited.
Okay, sir. So how do you feel connected to Krishna? Or means, to the higher power? Any experiences you can quote? Means, how do you feel that connection?
See, that connection comes from Bhagavad-Gita knowledge. When you are reading the slokas, Krishna is directly talking to you. Every sloka, when you read from Bhagavad-Gita, you are listening to Krishna. That is the way, like if I told you earlier about writing a letter, correct? Letter, I'm sending a letter. So when you read the letter, you are connecting directly, that person is talking to you. Like if I write a letter to my mother, or my father sends me a letter or something, when I read it, he is directly talking to me, correct? So like that, through Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna is directly talking to us. So that connection is established. When you study Bhagavad-Gita, read Bhagavad-Gita, the slokas, all these 18 chapters, 700 verses, he is talking to us, means he is asking us, he is giving us instruction, he is giving us the knowledge, he is asking us what to do, what not to do. So that we need to understand fully and follow it. And if you keep on reading it again and again and again, I don't know how many times I read, there is no limit in reading Bhagavad-Gita. It is like a continuous source of knowledge and happiness and everything. Then you will automatically start doing it, correct? Once you, that is something you keep on doing it again and again, then you know automatically. So that is the connection. Our connection with Krishna is through Bhagavad-Gita, and then again through chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So you are connecting. That way, we are just following Bhagavad-Gita. Krishna is teaching us that you sit straight, don't look at any other directions, and think about me. So that way, if you follow that, you are connecting with Krishna. Your mind, where mind is of course going here and there, you bring it back and put it on Krishna. Focus it. So that is the way to connect with Krishna.
Do you feel the connection? Like you are connected to Krishna? You feel the connection?
Of course, all the time when you are engaged in this, without that, it's very hard to give that lecture. You know, if you noticed this lecture every day when it starts, I've never, until now, I've never prepared anything, correct? When what you are going to talk or something, I have no idea. Before, just the minute before I start the lecture, I don't even know what sloka we are going to study, all those things, correct? So at that time we are fully connected with Krishna only. That's why the words are coming and we are connecting to Bhagavad-Gita, all those things. If we are not connected with Krishna, it is not possible. If our mind is somewhere else, it is very difficult to be focused and do this, correct? It's going to be very difficult. So that way, when you serve Krishna, especially when you are engaged in his service, you will be, there are a lot of opportunities to do. Only time is less. We don't have enough time. That is the only problem. The time to do for Krishna 24 hours are not enough. We have more, but he will do. Krishna is, he is the time. Krishna says that I am the time. Aham kalosmi. So he himself is.
You feel all these, sir, you feel all these things like Krishna is time and Krishna is beyond time. You feel that thing.
Yes, of course. Because he says in Bhagavad-Gita, correct? In Bhagavad-Gita, whatever he says, when you study Bhagavad-Gita again and again, as I told you, you will feel that. And when you are, he is going to help us. That is the main thing what we need to understand again and again. That when you want to help ourselves, he is helping us. His mercy. He says that mat prasadat, like that he says in Bhagavad Gita many times. Mat prasadat means by my mercy. By my mercy. So matchittaga sarva durgani mat prasadat tarisisi. If you think about me, then by my mercy, all your problems are solved. What we need to do is that we just have to think about Krishna. That's it. We don't have to do anything else. Think about Krishna, all our problems are solved.
So you think about Krishna all the time?
This is how, when you are studying Bhagavad Gita, teaching Bhagavad Gita, even last we are discussing all this time, we were talking about only Bhagavad Gita, Krishna only, correct? We didn't talk about any other material things at all, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This time, all the time we discussed everything. How many times we use Krishna only here? Correct? Yes. So we were thinking about Krishna only, correct? You are, not only me, even you are also thinking about Krishna only all this time. So we all are, anybody who listens, everybody is thinking about Krishna only. So this is what is thinking about Krishna. When you talk to devotees,
even in the midst of problems, like, you become ill or somebody loved one has in a grave problem. So at that time also, are you able to maintain this calm, peace and concentrate on, focus your mind on Krishna?
It is Krishna only has to give that thing to us actually. So you remember Krishna, you fully focus on Krishna. It takes a lot of time and experience to do that. But, again, I will say that once you believe in Krishna, fully, completely believe in Krishna, then you leave everything to him only. So if we have that strength or not, it has to come from him. So
you are able to face all the difficulties by
all these problems, difficulties, everything without. That's what I was telling. Without Krishna's mercy. Now, if you ask a question that if I didn't study Bhagavad-Gita at all, if I didn't know about Krishna at all, it's very hard for me to imagine a life now without Krishna, without Bhagavad-Gita. It's very, very hard, very difficult to balance the family, to balance a lot of other things, this, that, and all. I can't. First of all, we are now doing a lot of wonders. Krishna's mercy, so many devotees studying everywhere, everything, Bhagavad-Gita. This itself brings. In fact, the only thing what you are seeing is this 50, 60 devotees we are studying in this time. But from IIT days, there are so many people, so many devotees that we made actually. There are a lot of devotees from our IIT class. Not only our students, I was also teaching to the staff and other in Tamil also in IIT when I was there actually. Many of them, they got initiated in ISKCON. They were doing great service actually. They're doing a lot of service. So like that, many devotees are actually, we are making actually. We are identifying and giving them the knowledge. So this brings all the happiness. So all the tough situations, this is a dukkhalaya. But since Krishna is saying that by my mercy, all your problems are solved. That's what he says. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hani rasyopajayate. So that will happen. Krishna will destroy all our distress. So again, believe in Krishna only on that. That is the main thing.
So you think that obstacles, whatever obstacles and problems comes, that's also because of Krishna's will?
No. Krishna is not wanting us to suffer. People sometimes say that Krishna is testing and he is giving problems to test us. Krishna need not test us to find out whether we really follow him or not. He knows whatever we think also. He is in our heart. He is in our heart as the super soul. And Krishna knows everything. So there is no need for us to test us, to give us some problems, obstacles, and how we do it. And then whether we are a devotee or not, whether we follow or not, those things and all, there is no need for him to test us. Krishna doesn't want us to suffer and struggle at all. But all our suffering, struggle, problems, obstacles, it's because of our attachment to this material sense objects and our ahankara, false ego. So that is the reason we are struggling. It is not because Krishna is giving us. Krishna already told in Bhagavad-Gita very clearly that Nadate kasyachin papam nachaiva sukrutam vibhu. Ajnanena avrutam jnanam tena mukhyanti jantavam. So I don't accept the responsibility of anyone's good or bad deeds.
That's because of our we get.
Yeah, we say that something bad goes, why God is doing this, why Krishna is not doing it. Something good goes, everything. Krishna is saying that everything because of our ignorance. Our knowledge is covered by ignorance. Ajnanena avrutam jnanam tena mukhyanti jantavam. So because of that, we are struggling and suffering. Krishna will not create any impediments or troubles. But Krishna can solve. Krishna can help us to come out of the trouble once we believe in him. Once we see, this Bhagavad-Gita is a boat of knowledge. If we are ready to sit in that boat, Krishna can take us from the ocean of material miseries. We can cross beyond. He says that even if one is the most sinful person in this world, still if he gets into this boat of knowledge, he can cross beyond the ocean of material miseries. Apichetasi papebhyaka sarvebhyaka papakrittama jnanam sarva plaveneva vrijinam santaris. If you are not ready to get into the boat of knowledge, then we are going to drown in the ocean of material miseries. That Krishna can't help us. That is the problem.
Okay.
He doesn't want us to struggle. He wants, in fact, he wants us to go to him only.
Okay, so all our problems comes because we have attachment to and we have desires. to get material wealth or
Yes,
material.
it is the only thing. All our problems is because of our material attachments. When we are attached to something, then it is going to bind us. The results are going to bind us. If you are not attached, yeah.
So do you think you are unattached to the close family members, and because they are the most attached thing, there's your spouse, your kids, and attachment to the power, position, and money. Do you think you are unattached to them?
I think this with Bhagavad-Gita knowledge, definitely, because as I also told you, all the time engaged in this morning to evening, all the time teaching Bhagavad-Gita, and now with so much of goals, correct? So much of goals to serve the Loka Sangram, correct? To serve the society, give the knowledge, and all those things. So not only giving Bhagavad-Gita knowledge, even material knowledge also we'll give them so that they can uplift them, all those things. So these are all things are possible only if we are not attached to anything, personally speaking, correct? Because we know that Krishna is taking care of everything. That is the main thing. He is the one who is taking care of all our other needs. If otherwise, how will I be able to give this lecture, give this, all this? First of all, this time. What I want to say is that this time every day we are spending studying Bhagavad Gita, all those things. Because Krishna is giving us this time. He gives us the time, he gives us this energy, he gives us this opportunity, he gives us all these things. Otherwise, you see, others, if they can't come in a day, they can take, if they have some other work, they need not join, but the next day they can follow through the YouTube recordings. But I can't do that.
Yes, sir.
I don't have that option, correct?
Yes, sir.
So whatever is the reason, I have to give this lecture. And we are successfully able to do this. This is not one cycle. This earlier before I have finished this so many times, at least 4 or 5 times already finished. This is 5th or 6th time. So yeah, now in parallel also we are doing other things, other programs, as I said, in Tamil, in the TV, a lot of things. How is it possible? It's without Krishna is arranging all those things. So this time itself, we are spending good amount of time in this. That itself shows that Krishna is taking us towards him. All of us, not only me, all the devotees who are joining. It is not only because I give the time and give the lecture. All the devotees who join, also they also find value in it and committed and every day coming sincerely and following all those things. And many are already changing, correct? It's changing their lives, what they are doing it, all those things. You will see that. It's a big opportunity. We will make 13 lakh devotees.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So one of my another question is about spiritual intelligence. Basically, I define spiritual intelligence as the capability of using your spiritual knowledge and resources in day-to-day life for solving problems and reaching our goals. Means like an intelligence. So all the, because see, what I experienced in my life, that having a theoretical knowledge, like people compartments bana lete hain, like okay, my spiritual knowledge and my spiritual life is for 1 hour where I do japa and I study Bhagavad-Gita, but rest of the day I can do anything. But the spiritual intelligence is where we carry that knowledge in our day-to-day experiences. But that's what I'm trying to assess. So do you think spirituality as an intelligence? Because in academia there is a debate that why do we need spiritual intelligence when we have a construct called spirituality? So
there is only one intelligence. That is known as buddhi. So intelligence means not having any attachment to the results. That's what an intelligent person will do.
Okay.
So karmajam buddhi yuktahi palam tyaktva manishinaga janma bandha vinirmuktaga padam gachanti anamem. So that's what is intelligence. Intelligence, that's what you call it as buddhi yoga. Buddhi is intelligence. And that intelligence is only one. Krishna is saying that eka. Eka means one. There is vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeka kurunandana. So when a person who has got the Bhagavad Gita knowledge and who is determined in who is resolute in his determination, his intelligence is only one, ekeka kurunandana. Bahusakahi anantasya buddhiyo avyavasayanam. Whereas a person who has no knowledge of Bhagavad-Gita, his intelligence is many branch. So our intelligence, that only one, it will come if we are not attached to material sense objects. Bhoga Aishwarya Prasaktanam Taya Apagrita Chetasam Vyavasayatmika Buddhir Samadha Na Vidyate. So if we are attached to material sense enjoyment and opulence, then we are not going to get that steady intelligence. So that intelligence comes only when we are not attached. And that means when we are not attached to sense objects, means we are attached to Krishna. So, Tesam Satata Yuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yenamam Upayanti. So, those who are always engaged in my service, Satata Yuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam, and renders devotional service unto me with devotion, with love and devotion, I will give the intelligence by which they will come to me. Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yenamam Upayanti. So that intelligence Krishna will give it to us. But if you are not attached to Krishna, if you are not connected with Krishna, then we are going to lose our intelligence. Nasti buddhi ayuktasya. There is no buddhi. So if you are attached to the material sense objects, then buddhinaso pranasyati, buddhinaso, we are going to lose the intelligence. So there is only one intelligence. If we are connected with Krishna, we are having intelligence. If we are not connected with Krishna, there is no intelligence. That's it. Other things, nothing like material intelligence, spiritual, this we can say different things. But intelligence is only one, that is connected with Krishna, not attached to the results. That means we are intelligent. If you are attached to the results, anyone who is attached to the results is not intelligent.
So can you please tell me the Shalok number? It means that's Eka Buddhi. Can you tell me which?
Oh yeah, it is in the second chapter. It comes in the sloka number 41, 42.
41, 42. Okay. Sir. So I'll quote this. Because my topic is spiritual.
Yes.
But still, do you think that the intelligence means 20 years back what you were and now means, do you see the changes in yourself? Like, because see, when we get in a kind of a skill, a knowledge, when we apply it means by our intelligence, so there is an impact, kind of achievement by applying that knowledge and by intelligence. So do you think this spiritual intelligence can be increased? The spirituality can be increased by training?
So the more and more you devote to Krishna, you will gain more and more intelligence. That's it. The more and more you submit yourselves to Krishna, devote to Krishna, understand more about Krishna. When you asked me 20 years ago, I didn't understand the entire Bhagavad-Gita. I know that Bhagavad-Gita is a science. I wanted to study the Bhagavad-Gita, but I started reading. Already at the time, maybe I knew many slokas, but not like what I understand now. So that means it's all over a period of time, your intelligence also is going to be sharpened. When you have achieved that full intelligence, so that is what is called sthita prajna, steady intelligence. So at that time, you are liberated from this material world. So when the complete intelligence comes, intelligence is well established, sthita prajna. So then you are not going to get affected by whatever we have heard in the past, whatever we are going to hear in the future. So that's what is called steady intelligence.
So, okay. So with training, we can get to this steady?
It's only by training only. This is possible. The entire thing, whatever given in Bhagavad-Gita is only abhyasa. Abhyasa is practice. It is possible only by practice. Yeah, by no other way. Only simply by practice, we can do that.
Okay, so you see a change. How do you see the quality of life and quality of everything changing since you have begun this journey of Bhagavad-Gita?
It's changed a lot, so much actually. So what I would say is that now Krishna has put me in a situation like able to do this as a while doing a lot of other things also, do this as every day like a full-time devotee, correct? Like as if I'm in the temple and doing all these things only all the time like that. Only we are doing right now, correct? So whatever we are trying to do now and many places, a lot of devotees we are able to make, and they are all also committing their time. They are planning to do much more. All those things are happening because so much of change. And if we continue in this rate, I think in the next few years, it's going to even grow much more actually. At that time, it will be, the impact we'll notice. Right now, we are not able to notice the impact, but still we are on the way. It's an exponential growth.
No, impact on you, sir, means like your happiness level, quality of life level, quality of relationships, quality of your health. Means how do you measure it? If we say, how do you measure that impact on your own personal self, on different aspects?
On my own personal sense, I would say that definitely we discuss about sympathetic, parasympathetic and all, correct? I can say that most of the time now parasympathetic nervous system only is active. I don't let the sympathetic nervous system to come to act. So that is possible, that we can able to bring that. And we also discussed about preparing prasadam and offering to Krishna. So that also has increased every time when we do that. Like all these things are changing because of this Bhagavad-Gita now. So that's what I emphasize in my lecture every day to the devotees, like doing all these things, like sleeping enough, at least 7 to 8 hours sleep. That's very important. And then making good prasadam and offering prasadam to Krishna. That means don't eat outside. We should completely avoid eating packaged food or anything outside. So all those things. So that is changing. That's completely changed. You are able to offer prasadam to Krishna and eat. And then all these things are changing, like teaching. In general, you also do good, take care of your health, because if you have a good health, then only we can do our sadhana well. Otherwise, when Krishna is saying that you sit straight and don't look at any other directions, if we are not able to sit straight, then how are we going to do our sadhana? So that way, I would say that like health level and all those things, if we eat prasadam and in a controlled, regulated way, everything there is known as yukta. Yukta means it's a regulation. So yata viniyatam chittam atmanyeva vatistate. So that's what yukta. So yukta ahara vigarasya yukta chestasya karmasu yukta swapna vabodasya yogo bhavati dukkha. So dukkha will be gone. So that yogo bhavati dukkha. So that you will, I am noticing a lot, and other devotees also are noticing. Definitely you will see that.
Okay, so what's your sadhana, sir? Normal daily sadhana? Many things you mentioned, like preparing prasadam.
Sadhana is, that's what the main thing is, that studying, teaching Bhagavad-Gita, chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and then preparing prasadam and offering to Krishna. And of course, during daytime, focusing on my work and other things. So that way, in my case, daily life is almost like it's like a pre-program, correct? There is no deviation. You cannot do a lot of other deviations. So that way, I don't go anywhere else for any vacation and things like that. So that's another complaint with my family. You are not taking us out anywhere, all those things. I can't do that because what to do? It's Krishna's service. He is giving us so much of opportunity. So we don't want to if you do all those things materially, then you are going to be, will be away from Krishna. It is going to pull us away from Krishna. When we want to go to Goloka, we have to do all those things. So that way the sadhana is, all the things are sadhana.
So your daily life is a sadhana, you say?
Yes, all the devotees' life is when they do all these things, it is a sadhana. This we are successfully finishing this Bhagavad-Gita like 700 slokas, 700 days, 700 lectures. So what else can be a sadhana than this actually? This is, it has come to every day we are able to do that. So that itself is sadhana. Now we are planning to do again, start in a very nice way, big level, correct? So that is not only in one way, not only in English. I am also doing that in the Tamil also, like that, one sloka every day, doing all those things every day. So all these things are perfect sadhanas.
But one question then came into my mind, that your family is complaining that you are not taking them out. So isn't it also part of your duty as a householder?
The thing is that we need to understand is actually, in my case, okay, it's not with everyone, but as I said, others, if they don't come and attend this class one day, so then they can actually listen to the next day. But if I skip it, then this thing will not start. If I skip it, say if I go for a vacation, yeah, for a week, if I say that for 1 week I'm not giving this lecture, I'm going out somewhere, so we'll start after 1 week. Then you think this will continue like this, what we are doing it?
No, so sincerity and continuation has to be there.
It has to be there on every day, correct? In my case, it has to be there. So some sacrifice you have to do first there, correct? I know it's a complaint, it's a problem for them, because if they also find enjoyment in here, then there's going to be much more enjoyment. This is a big enjoyment, correct? So that way, what I am saying is that when Krishna's service, that's what, this is the teaching Bhagavad-Gita is the primary service. So other things Krishna takes care, that's it. Other things we don't have to see that, oh, that's another responsibility, I didn't do that, I didn't do this, all those things. Because this Bhagavad, but what I am doing is, this is not for everyone. I don't say that others, you don't do all those things, don't. They can even listen, if you go somewhere, they can listen Bhagavad-Gita, wherever they go. If they miss for 1 or 2 days, many times devotees, they are not able to come for different personal reasons, but they catch up, they will go through the YouTube, all those things. But in my case, I can't do that. There is even I go also, sometimes when I go, I still give lectures, but I may not give every Friday I'm giving, when I go and see my children in the college, so I'm not able to, and also I give lecture there in Bhagavad-Gita. So I'm not able to spend the 2 hours on the thing, but still I'm using my phone, I'm giving the lecture, correct? So it's not that I'm completely avoiding, I'm doing all the family responsibilities, I'm still doing it. I'm not saying that I'm not doing it at all.
Okay.
I am still doing all those things. It's all Bhagavad-Gita, it is possible.
So it does not impact your relationship with your family, like when they, wherever they see that because of Bhagavad-Gita or because of your dedication to the service, they are missing something.
See, I'm the one at home, they're taking care of all the household, cleaning the house and washing the vessels, and even my wife cooks also, Mataji, she cooks also, everything, I'm only washing the vessels. So when I'm doing all these responsibilities, even grinding the batter, all those things, everything, I only do that. So why would they say that I'm neglecting everything, right? It's sweeping.
You create a balance. You create a balance. You do something. You compensate somewhere.
All the work, everything needed, I'm doing it. Buying the groceries, going there, everything I do it for Krishna. So that way it is. We should not think that I'm completely neglecting or avoiding everything and doing only this. It is not like that. In fact, all the things I'm only doing it.
So you have a good relationship with your family.
Yes, of course. Of course, there is a. If they are not coming and joining this, I can't force. But maybe sometime, someday, if they are very gifted, they can take it. But they, who knows? At least my children may follow it, but we don't know. But they already know everything, because at a young age I was giving them all the Bhagavad-Gita teachings, all those things.
Okay. Thank you very much, Guruji, for your contribution, your time. I've taken much time. I've just seen it's almost 2 hours.
Yeah, that's correct. We almost 2 hours. It was all talking about Krishna. When we talk about the time is
yes.